Okay, I understand we got the recording going. Welcome everybody to the City Council meeting for May 2nd, 2023, called to order here at City Hall. Would the clerk please confirm the roll?
All council members are present with the exception of Councilmember Jocelyn and Rosen, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. And for the flag salute, yes, going to ask the clerk. It seems like a good week to have the clerk lead us in the pledge. Thank you very much for that. Okay, moving toward the agenda. Any changes to the agenda?
Yes. I would like to add an item to announcements, presentations, and appointments to be named by the mayor.
All right, do I have a second for that?
Yes, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You? We'll add that item. Get my screen to scroll. Why aren't you scrolling screen? Ahead of reappointments to the Planning Commission. Excuse me, between 10 and 11. So we'll call it 10.5, just to aggravate the clerk. All right, any other changes? Okay, and the consent agenda in front of you as night items. Could I get a motion?
So moved. Second.
A motion by Mr. Godhelf, second came out of somewhere. Is that Mr. Loudenbeck? All in favor?
Aye.
You? Well, that's good. I know that Mr. Owen's with us. That's great. Citizens' comments. This is the time on which, if you would like to speak to council regarding some item not on tonight's agenda, you can come forward now. If you're here in chambers, if you're online, we'll call upon you. We'll start in chambers. You'll have up to 3 minutes to speak, starting with your name and address for the record. Is there anyone here in chambers looking for a non-agenda item? Seeing none. Mike, do we have anyone online?
Nobody is requesting to speak.
You? That we will move right along to announcements, presentations, and appointments. First item on tonight's agenda for that is item 10 AB 23-057. This reappointments to the Planning Commission. And I'll take this one. Council, as you know, our Planning Commission does Herculean work for us. And amazingly enough, 2 individuals have agreed to get reappointed for a further term. They were before you not all that long ago, as we've been modifying the terms to better balance the Planning Commission overall. These terms overall are a period of 4 years unless otherwise indicated by the ordinance. Tonight, Maria, I would like you to reappoint Juliano Pereira, Susan Torgerson, whose terms expire May 11th, 2023, to serve another term. These reappointment terms will be for a period of 1 year in accordance with the ordinance 1769. Ms. Colin, as pro tem, could I get you to make that motion for me?
I make a motion to reappoint Susan Torgerson. Recommend motion to approve AB 23-057, affirming the Planning Commission reappointments of Juliano Pereira, position number 2, and Susan Torgerson, position number 3, terms expiring May 11th, 2020.
Second.
A motion and a second by Council Member Miller. Council, any questions, comments? Both Susan and Juliano are here. They'd stand and forward. If you have any, I actually tricked him. I told him we weren't going to do this to him. But just so you're remembering who they are for sure. If you, any comments before them?
Thank you for your service.
Go ahead.
I want to thank them for continuing. They obviously know the work and still chose to re-up. So I do appreciate it. I spent my first few years on the planning commission, so I understand volumes of reading you have to do and do appreciate. And if it wasn't for great people that volunteer in our community, we wouldn't get half. Thank you.
Heather?
Thank you, both of you. I happen to know you both a little bit, and I couldn't be happier that you've stepped up again. So appreciate all the time you put, all the effort you put into Planning Commission, and welcome again, and thanks for everything you do.
Mr. Laudenbach?
Yes, thank you both again for volunteering to be reappointed. Most of us up here spent some time on the planning commission, and fortunately parole kicked in. We were able to find other gigs, but it was, I have to tell you, it's one of the more rewarding jobs because you really get to see how the sausage is made. You get to get the direct feedback. You get to help form what is going to be the future of this city. And it's a very, very important and it is underappreciated by most. But I have to tell you from myself, and I don't mean to speak for my colleagues, but I think they've already expressed their appreciation. This is one of the more important things that can be done on behalf of the city. And I personally thank you very much for volunteering to be real.
Mr. Owen?
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to echo those sentiments, having served on the Planning Commission myself. And it's a rewarding exercise, really getting to know the inner workings of the city and understanding all the different dynamics that go to play. And definitely is a good foundation for anybody who's wanting to do more within the city itself. So thank you very much for volunteering and doing all that you do. I've been on the commission, so I can respect and appreciate all the time and effort that you both put into it. Thank you for re-upping.
Thank you. And also with that, the motion to approve AB 23-057, confirming the Planning Commission reappointments of Giuliano Pereira to position number 2 and Susan Torgerson to position number 3, terms expiring May 11, 2024. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? You, motion carries. Luckily, my mic wasn't on for that faux pas. All right. Let's see. Next on our agenda is item number 10.5. This is a last minute slip in so that we could keep it a secret. Some of you may not know that this week is Professional Municipal Clerks Week. April 30th to May 6th. And Susie Oppedahl, our city clerk here in North Bend, we're going to call you out. Susie is for the 54th annual Professional Municipal Clerks Week. We wanted to take a few minutes this evening to thank you for your dedication to our residents, the council, myself, and city staff. Susie began working for the city of North Bend in February 2007 as our deputy city clerk. She worked with City Clerk Cheryl Prophet through spring of 2011. And in April of 2011, Susie was promoted to City Clerk. She has continued to provide top-notch service to our community and essential guidance also to our staff at the City of North Bend. Duties are varied and incredibly important to our success and the transparency of city operations. Her work includes the maintenance of official council minutes, public notices, ordinance books, and all records and documents. She is essentially the keeper of the community history and vital records for the community. The indexing of all official actions of the council, receiving, distributing, and filing correspondence from citizens and other governmental agencies, handling of risk management, contracts, interlocal agreements, and real estate transactions, management of the public records requests, and ensuring elected officials and commissioners meet the Open Public Meetings Act requirements, and so much more. That's the official kind of stuff. What else do we know? It keeps me running. Other duties as assigned and invaluable to me on a daily basis of trying to keep me out of trouble. So, therefore, because she loves it when I read these things out loud. A proclamation for the 54th Annual Professional Municipal Clerks Week, April 30th to May 6, 2023. Whereas the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk, a time-honored and vital part of local government, exists throughout the world. And whereas the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk is the oldest among public servants. And whereas the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk provides the professional link between the citizens, local governing bodies, and agencies of government at other levels. And whereas professional municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all. Whereas the professional municipal clerk serves as the information center on functions of local government and community. And whereas professional municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, provincial, county, and international professional organizations. Whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk. Now therefore, I, Rob McFarland, Mayor of North Bend, Washington, do recognize the week of April 30th through May 6th, 2023 as Professional Municipal Clerks Week, and further extend appreciation to our professional municipal clerk, Susie Oppendahl, and to all professional municipal clerks, the vital services they perform, their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. Dated the second day of May, 2023. Thank you, Susie, for everything you do. So just to let you know how tough it is to get something past Susie, I had to go to her office and ask for a special piece of paper and tell her it was for another use so that she wouldn't know what I was going to do with it. Mr. Godhill.
I just want to acknowledge, not only does she keep mayor in line, but there's only probably a couple of us that remember when she was the deputy versus the city clerk. And since she's been both, she's always kept us in line. Make sure I have all of our notes for when we've got we have to talk about our committees. And when we need reservations for any meetings that we go to, she takes care of it. Pretty much keeps us in line. So she's integral and has been, and I do appreciate the work you've done. and look forward to working with you more, and thank you, and glad that you got, recognized here today. You do deserve it. And it's not only the mayor, but, have to keep us in line, and, a couple have been here long enough to where you probably had to kick us around to keep us in line. But other than that, it's been great.
Mary?
Well, Susie, I love you, and I think you know that already, and the public now knows that too. But anyway, I think I met you probably around 2007 when you were first with Cheryl, working with her. And then when I became city photographer around 2009, I believe, was a complete honor for everyone to know. You helped me decipher all those pictures I would bring to you ad nauseum, and you were so kind and so generous even then. So I really appreciate getting to know you through the years. We are certainly lucky to have your presence and your talent and your humor. Everything about you speaks of high caliber of professionalism and the best of you. So can't wait for more.
Mr. Elwood?
Thank you, Your Honor. Susie, you're amazing. I think we all love and respect and appreciate you and all that you do for us. And so it's interesting that there's 1 week dedicated to this, but I think we all celebrate you on a day-to-day basis. So it's good that we have this one moment to really call you out and celebrate you. But just know that myself and colleagues, we all have great respect for you, and it's on an ongoing basis. So you shine all the time, not just 1 week of the year. Thank you for all you do.
Mr. Laudenbach?
I sit next to her, so I have to be very nice. Susie is probably the most professional, personable individual that I've ever had the pleasure of serving with. And, there can't be enough accolades thrown her way. It can at times be a very stressful and demanding job, and she bears it all with a smile and perhaps some cuss words occasionally. But and very true. My colleague, Mr. Godhealth, identified that she helps keep us all in line. She carries a yardstick next to her desk, and if you do get out of line, anybody who has a parochial school flashback will appreciate what goes on.
He's not making it up.
And but seriously, Susie, we do love you. We appreciate you, and you're a valued member of this team. And we're just so lucky to have you. Thank you very much.
Susie, as a person who's known you the least amount of time, I am very, very appreciative to you. Set me up for success for meetings. You tell me what I need to do, when I need to do it, and it's so helpful. I'm so grateful for everything you do and keeping all of us in line. That's no easy task.
We should look down the fear on the faces in that row, tell you how she keeps us in line. And there's not too many black and blue marks on your shin tonight, is there, Ross, so far? That's good. Susie, would you like to say anything? Yay. Oh, and I'm again glad that I was able to sneak that one in, and she's smiling, so I'm probably only going to get a little bit chastised for shaking up her agenda. Thank you very much for that. We have second proclamation, item number 11 tonight. It is Affordable Housing Week. And here this evening, they'll be accepting this proclamation for us. Jim McEachran, member of the community, and I'll let him do further introductions after I read the proclamation, and I'll then step forward after Jim comes to the podium and present it. So, Office of the Mayor proclamation, whereas all people should have access to safe, healthy, and affordable homes within communities that provide opportunity. And whereas the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, defines affordable housing as housing on which the occupant is paying no more than 30% gross income for housing costs, including utilities. And whereas the Department of Commerce projects that by 2044, King County will need nearly 200,000 net new housing units for households at or below 80% of area median income. And whereas studies have found that each $100 increase in median rent results in a 15% increase in homelessness in metro areas and a 39% increase in homelessness in nearby suburbs and rural areas. And whereas the state of Washington conducted a survey and housing cost, homelessness, and overall cost of living are the most important problems facing Washington. Additionally, 76% of respondents said they were directly impacted or knew someone directly impacted by the cost of availability of housing. And whereas the CDC recognizes safe, healthy, and affordable housing within communities of opportunity as key social determinants of health, and whereas everyone benefits from affordable housing, including the people who reside in these properties, their neighbors, businesses, employers, and the community as a whole. And whereas united to raise public awareness, people, organizations, and communities throughout King County are participating in local Affordable Housing Week activities, elevate the critical need, and create healthy communities with ample affordable housing. And whereas ensuring access to housing is one of the fundamental functions of effective planning, in North Bend, 26% of all households spend more than 30% of their income on housing-related costs. This issue is especially pronounced among North Bend renter households, who are more likely than homeowners to spend more than 50% of their income on housing-related costs. And whereas the city of North Bend prepared an economic development action plan, which shows that housing is a critical issue in economic development and that attainable housing is needed for businesses to thrive. Attainable housing is market rate housing in which the people are spending no more than 30% of their income on their home. Implicit in this idea of attainability is the idea that a range of housing options, type, size, tenure, cost, needs to exist in the local market for a range of household incomes and preferences. And whereas the city of North Bend endorses the goals, objectives, and purposes of Affordable Housing Week, and in doing so, firmly recommits itself to ensuring that our community's recovery from the crises at hand is equitable, and that all people in North Bend live with dignity and safe, healthy, and affordable homes. Now, therefore, I, Rob McFarland, Mayor, do hereby proclaim the week of May 7th to 13, 2023 as Affordable Housing Week in the city of North Bend, signed this second day of May, 2023. Jim?
Love the pace of your council meeting, and you turned it into a love fest. This remark.
I want to bend that a little.
Mayor McFarland, members of council, Administrator Miller, the staff that support your work. Community. My name is Jim McEachern. I'm involved in the work of the Snow Valley Housing Task Force. Lived in this city for 18 months. In a firm and worked with the Housing Development Consortium of Seattle and King County on a regular basis. I've been engaged in attainable housing advocacy for 40 years. When I read your comp plan before moving here, I found two phrases caught my heart, my attention. North Bend, easy to reach, believe. I like that, and I appreciate that, and thank you for this proclamation for Affordable Housing Week. Recognize the need, and I commend the work you do in achieving bold, collaborative impact. Policies which provide the basic foundation. I might have a home, a healthy community environment. Thank you for mentoring and modeling a response to this critical need for attainable housing in the region. the county, in this community. I've been thinking about this town for 18 months. Perhaps the comp plan should add a new phrase. To reach, to leave, healthy and safe. You're here. For each of us, that includes housing, supportive services for everyone. Thank you.
You. Just to let you know that I've been having many a conversation with Jim over the last, oh golly, just about a year now, I believe. He's been very helpful to me in helping frame how I'm thinking about affordable housing, attainable housing, how that works with the general health of the community and all. So he's a great resource and somebody I would encourage any one of you here on council and otherwise to a conversation with. And with that, I'm still a little bit thrown by my own, sleight of hand in doing the extra proclamations. So forgive me for that, but we are on to item number 12, AB 23-058. This is an ordinance authorizing a franchise agreement with PSC. Ms. Marshall.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the council. The city has been without a valid PSC franchise for 5 years. The most recent one expired in 2018. There were some stops and starts with negotiating a new one. Most of the work on the one before you tonight occurred in 2022, and with very few changes from the previous version. A few things that I'd like to point out to you that didn't occur or didn't exist when the 1998 franchise was negotiated, which then informed the 2008 franchise that was alive until 2018, is that we didn't know what 5G was back in 1998. And now PSC is certainly, as all providers, utility providers, anticipating co-location on their poles and their infrastructure. That's one thing that's new. And a second thing that is new is most of the franchises PSC has with the cities in this region require relocation of facilities necessitated by a city capital project within a reasonable amount of time. And that term reasonable over the years has grown to be problematic as it has come a longer and longer period of time. So we were able to negotiate with PSC, and they have a representative on the line tonight, Brandon. We were able to negotiate language in the current franchise that caps that relocation time at 120 days. Still a little longer than we would like to see, but that's the number we landed on unless the parties agree in writing on another time period. Happy to answer any questions. This requires 2 readings. So tonight is your first one, and there will be another reading in 2 weeks.
Thank you, Lisa. I'll just add that I think it was about a year into my term when I discovered that this, and along with a few other franchise agreements, were had lapsed, and asked us to get started working on getting them back in place. And it just shows how complicated these things can be. And here we're in year 4. We got this ironed out, but I do think we finally did land on a good, solid agreement. With that, I'll see if council has any clarifying questions before I move to public comment. Brendan, I can't see you, so I'll need you to let me know.
Will do. Thank you.
Good. Okay. If you are a member of the public and wish to speak on this item here in chambers, you can move to the podium. Or if you are online, we will call upon you. We'll start first here in chambers. You'll get up to 3 minutes to speak, starting with your name and address for the record. Anyone in chambers? See someone moving stealthily to the podium.
Thank you, Mayor. My name is Matt Larson. I am the new local government affairs manager for PSC, covering the East King County. Pleasure to be here tonight. And as I noted, Brandon Labritz, who is the PSC's municipal liaison manager for North Bend and East King County, who's my counterpart, as the city attorney noted, we did a lot of work getting this done. And so we were both here just to address any questions that we could answer here or go back and get answers for that. But I was like, there are none. So I just wanted to say on behalf of PSC, thank you for all the for working with PSC. We look forward to continuing that relationship on some critical infrastructure and being a partner for North Bend for many years. And
I can't let you get up there and not take questions, Matt. Well, Ms. Marshall delineated that, unless the parties agree otherwise, I guess we know who that party is going to be. Should we have any urgent needs? Should we have any urgent needs? You're going to be our.
I'm going to be the one.
And-
I've already had conversations with your public works director, Mark Rigos, and the mayor and Dave Miller on some issues that have been ongoing for the last several months. It started before I came on board, but I will be the person who I'll reach out to.
Well, I'm just very happy for that, because for those in the audience that don't know, Mayor Larson Snoqualmie has been a friend and colleague for many years here in the Valley. And he certainly has an appreciation of urgency when it comes to matters of infrastructure and getting things done. And I, for one, am looking very much forward to having you on the team, Matt, and having you as a valuable resource going forward. So thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Councilmember Loudbeck. Yeah.
Anyone else got anything for Matt? Things come up during deliberation, we back up, Matt.
Very good. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you,
all.
sir.
Well, let me just say, as you know, given my service in past, I have just a great respect for all those that step up, to do what I consider very virtuous work, public service. You have a servant's heart, and that goes for staff as well, who aren't necessarily paid very well compared to the private sector. And so I have great admiration for people who are just doing this, not just as a job, but as much as a calling too. So look forward to, it's a real privilege and honor for me now in this new role to continue working for not only this community, but many others, but of course, as you know, I have a special place in the heart for the Valley here and communities like North Bend and Snoqualmie. So look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Yeah, always tough to have a 16-year service mayor sit in the audience when I'm trying to conduct a meeting. Do we have anyone online?
But Brandon Leyritz online is wishing to speak.
All right. And then you can unmute and go ahead. 3 minutes, starting with name and address.
Wonderful. My name is Brandon Laritz. As mentioned, I'm the municipal liaison manager who primarily did the negotiating with North Bend on this franchise. So I just want to congratulate all of you and thank you for the time that we've dedicated together to getting this accomplished. I think the franchise embodies the testament to this new climate of community activism and engagement, and just shows what it takes to get a project completed. It's not the utilities of the old, but we're a new generation, and it's all about working together to move forward, because you have goals, we have goals, the state has goals, and so the only way we can get there is together. So just wanted to thank you for that. And if you have any questions, by all means, you can reach out to me at any time. I believe Ms. Marshall has my information. She could pass it forward to anyone else as well that's there. So.
Thank you, Brandon. Mr. Lundbeck, I believe this came through Transportation and Public Works.
Indeed, it did, Your Honor. Motion to approve AB 23-058, setting for a second reading and consideration by the City Council, the ordinance to approve a franchise agreement with Sound Energy Incorporated at the regularly scheduled May 16th, 2023 City Council meeting.
Second by Mr. Godhealth. Mr. Lundbeck, anything to add?
Thank everybody who was involved, a long time coming, and I think you had an excellent work product. I look forward to working with the new team. Mr. Leyritz, thank you very kindly for all the work that you've put in. And Matt, we look forward to working with you, and I would recommend it do pass.
You? Godhealth?
I think my colleague said it best, so I'll just leave it there.
Anyone else, council? Hearing none, the motion is before you is to approve AB 23-058, setting for a second reading in consideration by the City Council, the ordinance to approve a franchise agreement with Puget Sound Energy Incorporated at the regularly scheduled May 16th, 2023 City Council meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Got you there. That was in the affirmative, correct, Brendan?
That is correct, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Motion is approved and it is unanimous. Council, amazingly, we had a pretty short agenda this evening and we are moving on to mayor, council and administrator concerns and initiatives. I'm going to start online. Mr. Elwood.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. God help.
Yeah, I just I had the honor of being able to be present for the East Side Fire and Rescue wildfire urban interface meeting last night where we had Dr. Kim Schreier, Congressman, we had Congress Lady, we had representative from King County there and a bunch of East Side Fire and Rescue. And what I really want to point out is if you're close to one of the areas here where you might be concerned about your property, please check out the website. One of the programs that I've wanted to get started for a long time is to work on with homeowners that are close to the urban wildfire interface. And make sure that there's opportunity for people to have somebody come out, take a look at their property and make recommendations on how to protect. And that is now a service being provided by East Side Fire and Rescue on behalf of North Bend. And there's going to be some pop-up table events coming up here about it too. So just want to let people know that if you're concerned, as we begin to get to the summer and want to get somebody to come out and take a look and give you an assessment of your property, please check out the East Side Fire and Rescue website.
Thank you. Ms. Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is more of an observation than anything, I guess. We've had some really sensational few 80-degree days currently. We're going to be heading into a little bit more rain, but in those 2 days, I was walking around town and it was so exciting to see so many people out biking, walking, families, dogs everywhere, sitting outside, eating, laughing. It was just joyful to see. So I'm excited to see more of that coming our way. Thank you.
Mr. Leidenbach.
Thank you, Your Honor. I like to take a moment to thank everybody who was involved in recent jazz walk downtown. I was able to enjoy many of the venues and some quality time with some of my fellow council members. And I wanted to say it was a fantastic event and I look very much forward to the Blues Walk coming in September. I also wanted to take one brief moment to make a personal shout out, and that would be on May the 5th. My eldest daughter turns 31. And as much as I appreciate the coordination of her national party day on her birthday, I won't miss the tequila shots. And but seriously, Marika, happy birthday. Dad loves you. And Your Honor.
Thank you so much. Mayor Pro Tem Colon.
Mary brought to mind with the warm weather coming our way that it's wonderful and it feels good to be outside. But as a reminder that our rivers are cold and they are high and they are fast. And so people forget. So be cautious out there on our waterways, even when you want to go in, very mindful and careful.
Very much. Mr. Miller, anything for the administration?
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
I've got a few items, a little bit off script. Again, I'll take the wrath of my clerk. I want to start out with a shout out to our state legislature for a really solid session. I think they got a tremendous amount of things done. I had noted through, I guess it was an article in the paper, the amazing percentage of bills that were not only passed, but passed in a bipartisan way, and a very high percentage which were by unanimous votes. It's always a sign of a healthy, well-working legislative body to me. I think we're all aware, however, that there was one major failure, and that was to get our cities and towns a fix to the Blake decision. And that was poorly handled in the final hours of the session. I have been in multiple conversations at this point with both representatives and the senators of the 5th and the 12th, and along with other mayors in the valley. And we're all unanimously expressing our frustration with that, the frustration that we are spending resources and tax dollars on local legislation that should not have to be spent, and that they need to get back down there and fix it. I can say that every single one of them has said that their presumption is there will be a special session, probably not lasting more than a day, if they can reach a compromise and come up with a solution. Fortunately, that's probably not going to happen till later this month, which is too late for us to have not already put the time and energy into getting a model legislation in front of you, council members, for should we need to plug that hole ourselves. So I wanted to share that one with you in particular. And then just a few other easy ones. Mr. Lauenbach, you mentioned what a great event, Jazz Walk. We got another one coming for you. Sip Suds and Sigh, always popular event, is happening Saturday, May 20th from 6 to 9 p.m. Grab your friends for a self-guided evening of tasting and exploring the charm of downtown North Bend through our businesses. For information, check out the community calendar on the city's website. Also, Saturday, May 6th from 8 a.m. to noon here at Public Works, we're having the yard waste recycling program again. Those attending are asked to use the Public Works entrance off of North Bend Way. And finally, reminder that Regional Animal Services of King County is currently running a License for Love campaign through June 30th, where you can license your cat or dog, renew an expired license, and your late fees will be waived. Licensing your pet can reunite you with a lost pet quickly, 24/7. It helps fund the care and adoption of shelter animals and supports the protection of people and pets in your community. Licensing your pet is easy online at kingcounty.gov/license-my-pet or in person at City Hall right here or QFC. And that is all. We are going to be, let me get back to my agenda. We are going to be now entering executive session, discuss potential litigation pursuant to RCW 42.30.1101I. Expect us to be in session for about 45 minutes. There will be no action coming after, in session for about 30 minutes, and there will be no action. So with that, the recording will stop. Thank you very much.